2004, if we brought Scott on tour and did one song, I don't know that, it wouldn't make a ton of sense, you know what I mean? That'd be great. And he has joined us in the past for that one song. I think he came out and we did like a Slayer tour in Salem, Oregon or something, 2 or 3 songs. So it's happened here and there. But now we do have this bulk of material. It makes so much sense for us to be able to do it. We've been more proactive in trying to make it happen. So that's why it's happening right now.
We were looking basically for an engineer. I mean, Steve is involved in the mix when we do stuff, but it's, we use him as basically just another set of ears. We don't do a whole lot of production, and it's kind of just the way it is with him. I mean, if you record with him, then you basically have what you come with. We usually bring everything that we want on the record intact, with having Noah doing samples and loops and whatever other things that we're doing. So we went to Steve Albini because he, in our opinion, gets just the best raw sounds, and he's very fast, and we just work really good together. We
also weren't really looking for too much of a producer, more sort of an engineer or another set of ears. You write something and you're in it for however many months, be it 8, 10 months, you're kind of going at it every single day. Sometimes you tend to get a little bit lost in it, and you say, is any of this good? I mean, so it's nice to have another set of ears that is objective, that you trust, and Brendan is somebody that we trusted, and when it came time to record Crack the Sky, I remember just being on the phone with our manager and being like, dude, we just need someone to press record. Like this, it's there. It's ready to go. And we wanted to do it at home because we had done a couple records in Seattle, and that was great, and it was a great experience and everything. But being a band at that point in 2008, we had been on tour for all that time, so we don't want to spend any more time away from home. So he was in Atlanta. Basically the planets aligned for that to happen, and then when we did work with him, it was such a magical experience. The thing we do on the spot is a lot of lyric writing and coming up with vocal parts. He had a good ear for that, for knowing what's good, and we just sort of trust him with those kind of things. I felt like he was able to bring some of the more psychedelic elements into the sound and stuff, and we really liked that. As far as song structures are concerned, you're not going to nip and tuck a 14-minute prog odyssey into a 3.5-minute pop song, so he just kind of let us do our thing, and we showed up with everything ready to go, and we did our own nipping and tucking as we do after the fact. You kind of sit and listen to things, and you say, okay, well, take 2 bars off of that, or that's always going to be the case. I think we get it usually 80% there before we would go in. We have everything arranged, and we're big boys. We know we have our own vision, and we don't need too much tailoring, or we're not like totally lost and confused when it comes to what we want to do. If it's a new producer or a new guy that we're working with, we're like on the defense, you know what I mean? Like, which is a bad way to be, I think. Kind of, maybe we should be a little bit more open, but we don't need to be, and we don't want to be.
I could easily see us going in completely other direction next time. I don't know. We've only just begun to start writing, so we just kind of write what we write, and we don't really question it as long as we like it. If it's what we like when we're doing it, then we get behind it 100% and try to let it kind of write itself. So there's never been a conscious decision to do a heavy album or do a more experimental album or anything like that. It's just been what happened at the time.
I'm going to give you the exact same answer.
Okay. Yeah.
It's really, we treat it more like a divining rod, sort of follow it around. I mean, we're holding it, but when it points down, you kind of go, cool, there's water down there. start digging. So, you know, you kind of just follow leads, you know, Bill will be sitting backstage like yesterday, we're writing something, hey, I like that, you know, it's very simple. Try not to overanalyze like why you like something so much, is just like it and then follow it until you are satisfied with the end result, which is whatever song it is, and not really too concerned with is this heavy enough, or is this too soft, or is this too this or that, you know, because I mean we're just music fans in the most general sense of the term, and there's no strict or any parameters as to the definition of what a Mastodon song is or what it's supposed to sound like, or that's the personal taste of the people that are in the band to decide what something sounds like and what you're all digging on at the time, you know. It's hard enough to make 4 or 5 people that are in a working artistic relationship happy, so that's your time to be self-indulgent, you know, I think is, you know, so, and I think that's really super important, to be self-indulgent when you're writing music and not let any outside influence in as far as like, are the fans gonna like this, or is it heavy enough? That's the most ridiculous question I could ever see posing to anybody in my band, you know. Like, we should be this way because I read on a message board that's what they want, you know. It's you're gonna end up chasing your tail that way.
He was really impressive, you know. I remember seeing them to Megatheory on tour. I don't know what I expected, you know. I went into the club, I mean, you know, the back of their records, they were kind of, you know, wearing all these spikes and stuff, and then they went into the club and they weren't, you know, they were just kind of like blue jeans and t-shirts, and I remember he was wearing a Cramps t-shirt, which immediately like impressed me, and you know, and they were just so special, and his contributions as they progressed, you know, became really interesting, you know, his vocal approach and just his style. Yeah, I was really sad to hear that. Really sad to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about it.
Would love to do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
When time permits, and you know, when something like that can happen, that's definitely something that we'd all like to pursue. So,
from my perspective, I feel like we could totally do that, and I feel like the connection between all of us is, well, it was strong before, you know, just doing this tour has made it just stronger every day, you know. So cherish and honor the time up there with those guys, and it's starting to feel like I don't know about you, but there's some moments in these last few shows where I'm just really feeling like this super heavy connection with everybody up there. Like we're all kind of starting to gel in a new way.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It took like 3 or 4 shows before it really kicked in, but now it's really settled in, and he's definitely it's a part of it. So it's been really exciting, and it's been an awesome experience to be a part of, and to finally have it happen. It's like, yes. He likes the demos. He likes the answering machine messages that we were leaving for each other to jam sometime.
I like the new one a lot. I like Once More Around the Sun. I think Crack the Sky is my favorite one. I don't know, it's one of those records that just kind of shines, you know. I like the earlier stuff too. I was really impressed with the first 7-inch, and it just keeps growing and growing, and getting to, you know, see them do it live, you know, 20 times in a row has been really like illuminating for me, you know. I mean, it's really pretty fucking incredible music that these guys are doing. If you really just kind of step back for a second and let it all soak in, it's pretty mind-blowing what they're pulling off up there every night, you know.
And thanks.
Yeah, again, you know, I'm just a huge fan of it's just the sound, the aesthetic, everything just really speaks to me, you know, so I feel really connected to it since I was a young lad. But Times of Grace, I guess, is the shiny one for me, the one that really shines the brightest. I guess because I had gone through some tumultuous times in my life, and then these guys were playing most of that record on stage every single night, and I was out there absorbing it and going to church, basically, you know. I just had never been so emotionally impacted by live music in that way before. It was just what I needed, you know. And I really appreciate the ability for some of the softer moments in the last group of records, especially Sun That Never Sets. Really first started to explore that softer side. That's really hard to pull off, you know. And they do it perfectly, so it's really cool to see. I'd love to hear more of that. I'd love to hear more of that. So if you can go to the guys and be like, you know what, guys? Listen, we need to make a soft album.
Soft album, Bron said so.
One of my favorite bands, and you know, I put them in there with Mozart and Beethoven, with some of the most emotional, impactful music of my life, you know, that I would take with me for the rest of my life. You know, I'll be in the old folks' home blasting Times of Grace, and they're just gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, it'll be with me.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Maybe just a picture of both of you?
Yeah. Should we hold the fruit, or?
Yeah.
You can hold it.
Oh yes. That's nice. That's a good natural mount.
You know what? Someone needs to paint this.
Yes, we have no bananas today.